Welcome to my latest Horus Heresy battle report. For the first time in forever, the Solar Auxilia are coming out to play, but they're traitors. So standing against them, a loyalist Raven Guard. We welcome to the channel a new challenger, Rum30k. So hi Rum30k.
Hi Rum30k.
You've been playing Heresy for a while now.
Yeah, I have 5-ish years, or 10 years in Heresy, 5-ish with Solar Auxilia.
Since Heresy 1.0.
Yeah.
And Guard. Solar Auxilia, sorry, not the Guard.
No, we're better than the Guard.
How many years have you been playing them?
4 or 5 years.
You must be excited about all the new stuff that's coming.
Yeah, it looks good, it looks clean, it looks a lot easier to build, which will be nice.
What is it about Solar Auxilia that tickles your cherry so much?
If you think about how they fought through the Great Crusade for hundreds of years, seen all the terrible things that Space Marines can do and have done to people, they still volunteered to fight in a civil war, and it's that like human spirit element of them that really makes me...
But your volunteers have volunteered to fight on the side of Horus.
They just want to prove themselves. They're from Chthoniya, they want to be part of the game.
And this is 3,000 points worth of Solar Auxilia. Talk us through what they are, what they do, and why they're different from Space Marines.
Okay, so I've got a cohort special rule, which is similar to Rites of War for Space Marines.
Yes.
That's unlocked by having a Legate Marshal, which is this nice man with a sword.
Yeah.
So the cohort doctrines, there's lots of different ones, just like Rites of Wars. I've gone with the Solar Doctrine,
Right.
which effectively makes my elite Velatari troops into line troops, and they only take up troop slots.
So these guys and these guys, which are elites, are now troops and they score.
Yeah, they've now got line, which
Brilliant.
is great. So the idea of Solar Auxilia is mobbing people with infantry.
Yes.
Lots and lots of shots, not super high strength, but overpowering them with weight of fire.
Yeah.
So if we go through the list,
Yes.
HQs, I've got a Legate Commander. He's got all the fixings. He's got a 3-up invulnerable save, a Mastercraft Paragon Blade, an Architect Pistol, Melter Bombs, all the good stuff.
How many points is he?
About 200, a little bit less than
He's
200.
a 200-point human, and he can take down Space Marines with all the toys.
He can, as long as they don't kill him first, because he's a little bit slow, he's an old man.
Okay.
So he, importantly, is Leadership 10, which comes into play with the next squad, which is Tactical Command Squad.
Yes.
So they're 5 normal guys, but they have a couple of upgrades. They have a banner, which makes them line, and that gives a bonus to combat resolution to units near them.
Yeah.
As well as this guy is the Command Vox.
Yes.
So he portrays the leadership of anyone in his unit to every other squad with a radio, which means that this guy, being Leadership 10 in the squad, makes every other unit with a Vox Leadership 10 for the whole game until he dies.
Warlord trait, they don't get their special warlord traits like the legionaries. You have to pick from the book. So you've got Stoic Commander.
Yeah, if you happen to die to a las rifle from this squad, there's 3 of them, then you'll take a pinning damage.
Brilliant. And you get 2 reactions in the shooting phase.
That's
so
the important
next we have some Ogrins.
So we've got 2 units of 3 Charonai Ogrin.
Yep.
They're Strength 7, AP 3 with Rending, Toughness 5. They're pretty decent in close combat, but they're a bit slow.
Yeah.
Importantly, if they ever fail a leadership check against shooting or close combat, then they can choose to just remove a unit, remove an Ogrin instead of taking a leadership check.
Yeah, so if you had a big squad, because this is 2 squads of 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you had a big squad of 6, and then you failed a leadership test, you can pull away the injured one, and this. And when you pull away the injured one and the leadership test fast, the remaining Ogrins get an extra attack.
For the rest of the turn.
They get very angry. But 2 units of 3, distraction carnifexes, I feel.
A little bit.
Okay, what else we got?
So we've got, in the elite but troops choices,
Yes.
we've got a 20-man Stormax unit with Vox and Vexilla.
Brilliant.
And they're riding around in a Gravis las cannon wielding Dracosian who's got a flare shield and a dozer blade.
Brilliant. So they're going to be jumping out of that. It's not an assault transport. All these axes are strength 5 AP 2.
And they have Murderous Strike on a 6.
On a 6. Nasty. But they are unwieldy, so you will swing last.
They were going last.
But
Anyway.
at AP 2, weapon skill 4, they can actually kill Space Marines.
They can.
Have you ever run like 2 squads of 20 of these guys before?
No, I've only ever played with 1 big unit.
Do they do work for you?
They're surprisingly good against Terminators, especially unwieldy Terminators. They go at the same time and they Murderous Strike them. It's really very good.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so they're jumping around in a flare-shielded... so long as you don't put the Demolisher Cannon on the Dracosians, they have a transport capacity of high.
22.
But if you put the Demolisher Cannon on them, like these 2 over here, they have a transport capacity of low.
Yeah, only 12. But
Okay.
that's fine for these guys. So they're 2 units of Volkite wielding Velatari.
Yeah.
They've got Voxes and Vexillers.
Yeah.
And they're in a tertio together.
Right.
So which means that if one of them reacts and the other one is still within 3 inches of that unit,
Yes.
then they can both react at the same time.
Yeah, tertios are a Solar Auxilia thing. So if one is overwatching, they're both overwatching.
Certainly are.
Flare shields on the armor transports.
Flare shields and dozer blades.
Dozer blades all round. And then there's 2 tertios of infantry guys again. So if one reacts, the other one reacts. Worth mentioning, close order drill. The thing is, if you move half, you can still shoot. But you've got to stay within an inch coherency of each other. And also, when you make a movement reaction, it goes down by 1. So they're not reacting very much in the movement phase.
They only go an inch.
The shrouding thing, though, if the tertio shrouds, they all shroud.
They all shroud, but it's only against the one shot. So it means if you do shoot like a blast template at them,
yeah,
they're both shrouded against it if it scatters onto the other unit.
Yeah, and 2 units of 40.
Yeah, and so the tertio rule for the reactions means they both need to be in coherency in their own units.
Yeah.
And they need to be at most 3 inches apart. As long as they daisy chain a little bit close to each other, that's how they get the double reaction.
So if they're more than 3 inches apart,
they don't get it.
No bueno. And you were pointing out beforehand, it's something I completely missed in the Solar Auxilia book, because I thought these were all just lasguns, like in 30k, like in 40k. But the las rifles in 30k are better.
Much better. So they've got 2 profiles. They have a longer range dispersed shot, which is only strength 3, 2 shots, AP 6. But if you come closer and you come within 18 inches, they're strength 6, AP 5. So they pack out much more of a punch, but they're only heavy 1 with the overcharged shot.
20 shots, hitting on 4s at strength 6, wound Space Marines on 2s.
Yeah.
So it means the humble guardsman with a ladder rifle can actually put out some work.
They do, especially when 40 of them shoot back at you in Overwatch.
Yeah, that would sting a little bit. We've got a Vanquisher number 1, Vanquisher number 2 for anti-tank hunting.
Yeah.
I didn't bring any tanks. We'll look at my army in a minute. I'm Raven Guard. And then in the back, what's this lot down here?
So we've got an artillery tertio. So this is 1 heavy support slot. There's 2 units of 2 laser destroyer rapiers and 1 unit of 3 quad launchers. And they've been upgraded to splinter rounds, which means that they're only strength 2, but they're rending 6 up. And they cause pinning checks at -1 leadership.
So if you get 6s to wound, you're pinning.
Yeah.
If I fail any saves and things. And rapier laser destroyers, probably the best thing in the Solar Auxilia Codex.
Really, really good anti-tank.
How many of these guys have you got?
So there's 2 units of 2.
But how many have you got?
Oh, I've got 6 in total.
6 in total. Are they the best thing in the Solar Auxilia Codex? If someone was starting a Solar Auxilia army, would you recommend 6 men?
They're the best you can get for anti-tank, which is difficult to get in Solar Auxilia.
It's funny how the Solar Auxilia is actually quite difficult to get for anti-tank, isn't it? It's funny.
You think of them as guard, bringing loads and loads of anti-tank vehicles, but most tanks now in Horus Heresy 2.0 much better at dealing with infantry than they are other vehicles.
Yeah, Plasmacutioners, Vanquishers, things like that for taking out the elites and these things for taking out tanks. The one thing you can do with a guard, though, is get lots and lots of line infantry. So score, 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 score. If there's anything alive at the end of the game, it's definitely going to be scoring some of these objectives. And lastly, they just look so very pretty. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's go and have a look at the Raven Guard. Okay, here is bang on 3,000 points worth of Raven Guard, and I'm using the Decapitation Strike Rite of War, which is specific to Raven Guard because that's what they do. Basically, my entire army gets preferred enemy against independent characters. There's 1, so if I'm shooting or charging or attacking this unit, I'll be rerolling hit rolls of 1, rerolling wound rolls of 1. I want him dead. This Legate Marshal from this Cathonia backwater must die. He's pledged himself to Horus, and if I kill him with Decapitation, it's not so much the preferred enemy that I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for the narrative, doing it for the love of it. And if I kill him, I get 2 extra points. So you get a point for Slay the Warlord, and we both get a point each, but I'll get 3 points for slaying that Warlord with this Decapitation Strike. And then Raven Guard, they don't have 1 Legion rule, they have 3 Legion rules, depending on whether they're Hawks, Talons, or Falcons. Long story short, I've got 2 tactical spots and 3 recon squads here, all in the troop slot, and these are my line units. These line units get Infiltrate, which confers outflank, and they also have a 6-up Shrouded save if you're more than 8 inches away from them. That's what they do for Raven Guard. Infiltrating in, shrouding in the backfield, lots of sneaky stuff. And then the punchy stuff that's running up the middle are Hawks, so they get to re-roll once to wound if they're charged or charged. Doesn't come into effect very much because I've got lightning claws spread throughout the whole army there. And you picked Stoic Defender as your warlord trait. I've picked one which gives me a re-roll 2 reserves when I jump in from reserves if my Praetor is in reserves. And he isn't going to be in reserves, so that bit doesn't come into effect. But it does give me 2 movement reactions in the movement phase because it's very Raven Guardy. I forget the name of it, but 2 movement phase reactions. And I could have had him running on depending on what you brought, but he's not going to be running on. We have a Praetor leading 10 Tartarus Terminators. And wherever you see red claws in the Raven Guards list for the Lightning Claws, these are not Lightning Claws. They are Raven's Talons, which are a 5-point upgrade, or 10 points if you've got 2 claws. And basically they rend on a 5-up. They're exactly like Lightning Claws that rend on a 5-up. Really good against other Space Marines and Dreadnoughts and Terminators. Against Guard, they're just going to be as good as regular Lightning Claws. So I spent a lot of money on these things, but it's what Raven Guard have. Raven Guards have Raven Talons, so I've packed in the Raven Talons where I can. And if there's 10-man Tartarus squad, there's 2 hammers, 6 Raven Talons, 2 with axes. They're going to be rocking around with the Praetor. The Praetor also has an advanced reaction, a once per battle advanced reaction, where he can move and shroud if his unit gets shot at. Well, you can do it with any Raven Guard, but I'm probably going to be doing it on my Praetor. Solar Auxilia don't get advanced reactions. They're not as tactically nuanced as the Space Marines. 2 squads of tacticals. There is a augury scanner in one of them, artificer armor and Raven's Talons. In the back, 3 squads of snipers shooting down, 1 big squad of 10, 2 big squads of 5. They've all got Nemesis bolt rifles, which are pin, and try and take out the warlords, try and take out the HQs. They also have improvisers, which is a special Raven Guard thing that you can get, and improvisers ignore night fighting, and the sergeant hits on 1 better. So we're going to be sniping out some stuff if we can see them, trying to pick off the sergeants in the unit. And because they ignore night fighting, you can't shroud against it. You can't make that important evade roll against it. I've also given improvisers to the unit of 10 autocannon dudes, and there's a artificer armor in that squad as well, and improvisers on the unit of 6 Sky Hunter bikes with multi-melters. Yes, they're going to be zipping forward, they're going to be tank hunting. Improviser on the Sarge means even if you're evading and popping smoke, it's going to go straight through that shizzle. These are my anti-tank, along with 3 javelin speeders in the backfield with las and multi-melters. They're anti-tank. And we have 2 dreadnoughts. Don't have to bring them in a Talon because I don't have enough elite slots, so I'm not. And because there actually isn't a lot of long-range Dakka in this Raven Guard force, one of the Contemptor dreadnoughts has got all the las cannons on to throw down some extra firepower. The other one's got all the melter on, and he's going to be charging forward and punching stuff. And then, of course, because Decapitation Strike is all about killing the Warlord, I brought along the Dark Furies. Their sole mission in Raven Guard's forces is to drop in behind enemy lines. And in the Dark Fury squad, you have 3 Choosers of Slain. And they're like mini captains in their own right. And their job is to hunt and kill the HQ and the command structure of the enemy. So these are a fast attack choice, but they've got lots of attacks. The 3 Choosers of the Slain have got artificer armor on and melter bombs, so there's triple melter bombs in here in case they need to kill a tank, because the Talons aren't going to do much work against tanks, but melter bombs can, and they're going to bring some real pain. And you're going to need to either move block, or I know you've got augury scanners in your las rifle squads, is you're going to need to shoot the crap out of them when they deep strike in as well. So I've got some infantry that can infiltrate or outflank, so I've got some movement options there. I've got a couple of big units pushing up the middle, the Dreadnought, the Dark Furies, and my Terminator squads. And then I've got some firepower over on the left to suppress and keep the enemy heads down, and the snipers. The snipers could do some work in this game. And today in the ruins of their cities, we are going to be playing War of Lies. This is a 6-turn game, and you get a point for every unit that you kill. Point for killing the warlord, I'll get 3. And then at the end of the game, there are 3 objectives on the table. One's in the middle, one's over here, one's down here, one's over there, but 5 objectives on the table. And at the end of game turn 6, if you score these objectives, and to score them you need line units or obsec units, and the guard have got 8, I've got 5, but if you score this, then these objectives could be worth 1 point, they could be worth 3 points, or they could be worth 0 points. So you really don't know who's won the game until the very end of the game. The battle mat is from urbanmats.com. Most of the scenery is GW stuff, but there's some of the glorious marchofwar.co.uk scenery here in the church, in the ruins, and the bunkers and the bunker lines here. Oh, and the statue is also from marchofwar.co.uk. There's a big open space over here, and we don't know who's deploying on what side yet, Run 30k. Do you want first, Dan?
I'd like it. But
Yeah.
I think it'd be fair at a roll for it.
Well, we should, yes. Right, yeah, in Heresy, this is how it works. You rolled a 1.
I didn't want it that much.
I've rolled a 5. So that's the thing, is I can choose to deploy first, go first, or I could choose to let you deploy first. The thing about War of Lies is having last turn is actually quite strong,
Very good.
because being able to jump away and get on objectives as the last action of the game is a thing. I need to actually go away and think now. We'll come back to you after deployment. So here we are after deployment. After much deliberation, I let the Solar Auxilia deploy first, which means they're going first unless I choose to seize the initiative, steal the initiative, and good guys don't steal. It's illegal. So I'm not stealing. Another reason for not stealing is War of Lies, go in second, powerful, and I've put a lot of stuff in reserves. Both of my tactical squads are in reserve, walking on, not outflanking, because there's an objective here and there's an objective there that I'd rather they are both on at the end of the game. And the bikes, the Sky Hunters, which could deep strike as well, I've just put them on normal deployment. So they're going to come speeding on because they're quick. They've got quite a lot of threat range. And if there's any tanks down in the half of my table by the time they come on, then they should be able to melt them. And hopefully all my reserves won't come on in turn 4. Hopefully I get some on in turn 2. And of course the Dark Furies are also in Deep Strike Assault. We've got a Dreadnought on his own. He's a problem. He's just going to go that way. Then we're locking down the middle with autocannon team, Lads cannon team. You can shoot at these guys. They're going to be shooting back. Here's the thing. And then snipers. Snipers which can infiltrate all the way along the top, taking the prime positions where I can. And I put my Terminators with the Praetor down here because I could put them in the middle with the Dreadnought and just push. But then I have my Terminators with the Dreadnought right in the middle of all your guns. It doesn't seem too wise to me. So instead I decided to take a flank, because then we can begin to make our way along here. Any thoughts on your deployment at all, Run 30k?
Well, it just about fit. So that's the benefit of playing Solar Auxilia, is whether or not your army can go in the deployment zone.
And it could go in the deployment zone. It's worth noting that the Rapier Las batteries up here, 36-inch range. That's another thing, raving about making you deploy first. I was able to put a lot of my stuff out of range from a lot of your stuff. And your tank hunting vanquishers haven't got tanks to hunt, but they could certainly start picking on dreadnoughts and things like that. And then where is this Legate Marshal who must die?
He's hiding in this building right at the back with a big screen around him, hoping that your Dark Furies can't fit.
So this screen here.
Yeah.
I imagine as well he's attached some HMI screens to the ruins around him as well, and he's planning and plotting this downfall of the Raven Guard that are facing against him, because the thing that he wants to do is go back to Horus and say, look, Horus, here's some skulls of some loyalists that I managed to take out.
But I'm sure if he tells Horus, he won't be telling the story of how he hid in the bottom of a building the whole time.
No, he's tactically positioned. And you are going first. I'm not stealing from you.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Thank you.
It is Solar Auxilia, turn 1. At the end of the movement phase, Precious Little moved. It's been a cautious advance from the Solar Auxilia. I like to think that the Raven Guard have been sneaking through the ruins of this city for a day or so now. That's why some of them are still in reserve. And when they hit this open courtyard here, this is where the Solar Auxilia has decided to pounce. But not a lot of range in your army. Lots of mid-range dagger instead. You've lighted up both of the Dracosians with the Volkite guys in to nail the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And also all the vehicles over here lining up to nail the Dreadnought, and then some stringing out with some of the infantry. War of Lies is a 6-turn game as well. The first few turns, you just really need to try and kill as much as possible. Then towards the end of the mission, start running forward to get on these objectives. Opening up the shooting phase with this Demolisher. Trying to hit the Dreadnought. Good luck.
Yep.
That hits the Dreadnought. Strength of Demolisher cannons 12?
Yeah, it's a lot. Wound on 2s.
Okay.
It's wounded.
It is a 2-up save, right?
Yeah.
But
it's
it
only 3 without rending.
But it is brutal 3.
It is brutal.
So if I fail this 2-up save, I take 3 wounds.
You got to take 3 saves.
Oh yeah, 3 saves. 3 2-up saves, you're right. It's brutal 3. 3 2-up saves. He's okay.
He's fine.
You're firing number 2 at him?
I will fire number 2 at him.
And that one hits as well. Okay, 3 more 2-up saves. Oh, you need to move. You need to move.
He's wounded.
I made my saves.
Yeah. All good.
From the Dracosians across to the first Vanquisher with the last cannon in the nose as well, but you're firing the coaxial gun first.
Yeah, coaxial first. If it hits, then we get rerolls on the main cannon.
And
does hit twice.
Right, strength.
Strength 7.
Toughness
so
7.
Wounds on 4s, rends on 6s. Just 1 wound.
That's another save.
Cool. So now the Vanquisher cannon now gets it's 2 shots and it gets to reroll because the coaxial is hit. They both miss. So
good job for the reroll. And
didn't matter.
Happens.
Last cannon's
in
the
the
last
nose,
shot.
yeah.
Hits. 2 to wound.
Wounds.
Does wound.
5-up automatic shielding save. The Dreadnought takes its first wound after 3 tanks fired at it. Are we doing Vanquisher number 2?
We are doing Vanquisher number 2.
Vanquisher number 2.
Okay, so coaxial first.
Hits.
2 hits. 4s to wound, 6s rend. 1 wound. He's okay.
Okay.
So Vanquisher cannon next. 1 hit
with the reroll.
Just the 1 hit. So it's 2 to wound. Didn't wound.
Doesn't wound, and it's brutal too, and that could have been some damage. Have we got some more firepower pouring in?
He's got a heavy bolter.
Heavy bolter.
He's going to shoot it.
Okay. He hits once with it.
6 to wound.
Negative. Yeah. Between the Vanquishers, we have a Gravis las cannon on the Dracosian, shooting the Dreadnought, hitting on 4s. And you get one hit through. Wounds on a 2. The las cannons are doing the work. Particularly when I failed my invulnerable saves, the Dreadnought is down to 4 wounds remaining. We're pouring more fire into the Dreadnought from the Rapier team up here, which is in line of sight and range. Down at the Dreadnought, 4 shots with the Rapiers.
Yeah, 2 shots each, twin linked.
Okay.
I think these might actually hit on 3s.
3 of them hit.
Yeah, 3 hits, 2s to wound.
1 of them wounds. 5 of them burn. I failed that as well. The Dreadnought is half dead. The other Rapier team, however, can't see this Dreadnought. No. You could shoot at this Dreadnought here, which could return fire with 4 las cannons against you.
That would be quite scary, wouldn't it?
But you're toughness 5. You're a Rapier crew. You're fine.
I think they are actually going to do it because the autocannons scare me more in return fire, so they're going to shoot the Dreadnought.
Okay, I'm returning fire.
I thought you might. Okay.
Yeah, you do hit on 3s, so 4 shots coming into Mr. Dreadnought.
With twin linked.
They all hit. 2s to wound. You can't, yeah.
3 wounds.
3 into this Dreadnought, 3 already off of this Dreadnought, which couldn't be seen by this squad, which is why you're firing at this one. This one drops down to 4 wounds remaining, then returns fire. 4 las cannons streak across the battle grid and hit on 2s, and will wound the Rapier crew on 2s, and they will have 5-up saves against that.
They're glad that they are in a ruin.
Yeah. And you take 4 wounds. After the 2 Dreadnoughts got lit up, we had some snap firing from this las rifle section over there, up at the snipers, no wounds caused, snap firing away. And then the last thing left to fire, strangely enough, is the quad squad with the shatter shells, firing up and over. Wants to put the last blast marker on the autocannon team. Let's see where it scatters to.
So the first shot
is a direct
hit. So that's 6. Second shot goes 7. Shot.
Yeah, the second one still hits
4 inches.
So it's 10 hits so far.
4, I think it's going to miss.
I think that one's missing.
Cool.
So you got 10 hits.
2 rending on 6s.
Yeah, you need the no 6s.
No 6s.
The shells shatter amongst the Raven Guard lines, but don't penetrate any of the armour. And strangely enough, that is the end of the shooting phase for the Auxilia in turn 1. In fact, that is the end of Solar Auxilia turn 1. Let's find out how the Loyalists respond. The The Raven Guard have responded in kind with some cautious movement. Everyone's staying well clear of this big open... I like the way I did this. By putting a big open space and lots of line of sight around the edges, it's suddenly made this battlefield very dynamic. Which means this Dreadnought, you've got flare shields on your Dracosian, so it ran forward, trying to stay away from the brutal 3 demolisher shells around there. And yes, it's a target, but at least you're not shooting at the rest of my stuff. He moved around that way, and then all the las cannons with the Dreadnought and the javelins moving around this way because there's some tanks and some things down the street. Then I did some more running. I ran with my HQ and the Tartarus squad round this side. Honestly, I'm not scared of those Ogrins, even on the charge. They're initiative 2. I've got a lot of Raven Talons which are going to do some work. This team will make its way down through here, depending on what armoured might tries to stop them. But we're going to start off the shooting phase with Sniper Team number 1, looking at these guys down here. No reactions at this stage. I am hitting on 3s and I'm wounding on 3s. 2s, strength 5, your toughness 3. I'm wounding on 2s. 5s rend, so it's precision as well, so I can put this on dudes. Start off with the Sergeant's got 6 up cover. He's alive, and then his full armour save on...
4 up.
Okay.
4 up.
Mind you, our Nemesis bolt was 4 ups.
They might be.
I think I might have killed him. They are AP4, so that does mean I've killed the Sergeant, I've killed the Vox as well. And because the Vox gives you leadership 10, and now the Vox operator is down, they're cut off from the command and they must take a pinning test. A 6 without a Sergeant.
They're very afraid.
They're pinned. From squad number 1 to 5-man squad number 2, the only thing it can see rather clearly is this Rapier team up here. We're too far away for you to return fire.
They can't react.
So we'll put some rounds into them as well. Only 2 hits. This needs forced wound because it's a Rapier team. That's full armour and that is a cover save.
I think their precision, are you putting them on the guns or on the guys?
The guys, because if the guys dies, then the guns go.
Yeah, so 6 ups.
5 up covers, but
5 up.
2 guys die. 2 Rapier carriers, 2 rarer carriers left there, and another 10-man squad of snipers looking straight at him. A few dice laurels later, 10 snipers take out that Rapier team. They're gone, and then below them, the Tertio stood there in the ruin, are going to get lit up by the autocannon team. No point shrouding this because of improviser, which I just remembered. And they're out of range to return fire. So the Sergeant with the improviser, he hits on a 2. The rest of the fellas hit on 3s. That's not good. Wounds on 2s go straight through the armour. So you have 5 up ruin saves. And 6 out of 20 of them get lit up. That'll be enough for a leadership test at the end of the shooting phase. And then down below them, the Dracosian armoured transport is getting lit up by 6 las cannons from the javelins over here. And you're evading this shot. So these all hit on 3s. Side armour of a Dracosian armoured transport.
It's at 12.
12. So strength 9 plus this. So that's a glance, that's a pen, and it has sunder. So 3 glance, 3 pens, 1 glance. And you've got a 6 up save. There is stuff in the way.
So 3, I'm shrouding this. It's 5 up.
Well, these are the cover saves because there's stuff in the way.
Damage mitigation.
And then shroud.
5 up.
2 of the pens get through.
And then the glance.
6 up, then a 5 up. No, so that's going to be 3 hull points plus 2 penetrated results. AP2, 6s will detonate it. I don't get any 6s. Instead, I just shake the crap out of it and take 3 hull points off. It'll be snap firing next turn, so it won't be able to fire that big, nasty demolisher. It's down to 2 hull points remaining, which is 2 too many, so Dreadnought number 2 will fire in. And you've already evaded, so you can't evade these shots. And the Dreadnought hits on 2s. And 3's glance, 4's pen, the side of the Dracosian, and reroll for sunder. And we have 3 6-up cover saves from the penetrating hits, from the las cannons. And you make 2 of them.
Oh, so close.
So unless I roll a 6, it's still not dead. I don't roll a 6, it's still not dead, but it is on 1 hull point remaining. It is immobilized. Remember, there's some... Volkite guys in that one, Volkite guys in that one, axe-wielding madmen in this one, and that is the end of turn 1. We've been trading firepower right and left and all over the place, but just a gentle patter for now. These guys manning the balcony are going to need to take a leadership test because they lost 25% casualties in the shooting phase.
So 10 for the Vox. They're fine.
They hold firm as we go on to traitors. Turn 2. In the Solar Auxilia's turn, again, most stand firm. It's a long mission, inviting the legionaries to come on to their guns. You got out with the Volkite team over here from the immobilized vehicle.
Yep.
And the other one didn't get mobilized. Dozer Blades is up and over. Its Auspex is pinging. It's aware that there are some reserves that may come round that way, but he knows no fear. The tanks down this street here backed up, because there's a dreadnought-shaped gap making their way down towards them. And of course, this squad down here were pinned, and the Ogrins, they don't want anything to do with these Terminators. Instead of running straight towards them, they're coming around this side. They want to jump on something a bit softer, like the Javelins or a tactical squad or something like that, which is why I kept all my tactical squads off. But we're going to go on to the shooting phase. Unfortunately, this Dragosian can't shoot anything. That one can't shoot anything, so they're shut down. Where are we starting the shooting phase? We're on 30k.
We're going to start blasting and try and finish off this dreadnought.
So then I started blasting. Starting off with Lehman Russ, number 1, with the with the autocannon.
Autocannon to start, yeah. 2 shots, both missed.
So you don't get the twin linked on the Vanquisher cannon.
No, not this time.
Okay.
So Vanquisher cannon, 2 shots.
And that misses
also
as well. He's reversed. He's kicking up dust, and the turret weapons miss. The heavy bolter though
goes in
and hits twice, but it's a dreadnought, and it can't wound. Vanquisher number 2.
Autocannon first. Saving that for this one. Hits once.
Okay. Wounds. 2 up save. I'm good.
Okay, so now Vanquisher gets to reroll. Didn't need it. 2's to wound. 2 wounds. 2
wound. And they're brutal too. So this is 4 saves. A 5 up and vulnerable save on my dreadnought. There's a dead dreadnought, which detonates, but there's no one nearby. And that ancient has been removed from the battle. Now, I know what some people are thinking. It might feel like a waste putting the dreadnought there, but if I didn't put anything there, it wouldn't have kept you honest. And there would have been a mad push. And this has kept the Solar Auxilia back for a bit. Now, we continue in the shooting phase with the last Rapier with the Las. Firing down at the autocannon team. They have to return fire.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
And kill that Las cannon Rapier in your turn. 2 shots coming in hot.
2 shots.
Both
2
of them
hits.
hit. Wounds on 2s. Both of them wound. There's a barricade in the way. They have skirmish as well, so they increase +1 from that cover to 4s, and we're good. Okay. And then we're going to return fire with 20 autocannon shots. The Rapier paid for its folly. It's been wiped out now. The Dracosian front-mounted can see them as well.
Grab a Las cannon.
Hits with one of the Las cannons. Wounds with one of the Las cannons. 4 up save, and we're good. After the shots in the centre, we had some snap fire from some of the pinned Solar Auxilia that did have range. And that's it for the shooting phase for the Solar Auxilia, except for the splinter shells coming in one more time, trying to hurt the autocannon team.
First shot.
A scattering 5. That hits 1. The next shot is going to hit 6. And the next shot, is going to scatter this way. 7 hits in the end, looking at 6s. With these shatter shells,
just the one,
and that one gets through, and it pins, and it's barrage, so I don't get my cover, but I do get a 6-up shrouding save.
Yeah,
because that's what Raven Guards do. I fail my 6-up shrouding save, and then they have to take a pinning test at shell shot 1.
Yeah,
leadership 7. Are they pinned? They're not pinned. Then the guns of the Solar Auxilia go quiet as they rearm and reload and do any further Raven Guard make it onto this battle grid in turn 2. I've got some reserve rolls to make. First up, Dark Furies will deep strike down from the skies on a 3. They're in. We have bikers zipping on a 3. I really like them in. That's a 1. They're not coming in. The reason why I'd really like them in is because tank right there. And then 2 tactical squads running on through the ruins. Okay, so only half of the reserves are in as we go to Raven Guard turn 2. we're part way into the Raven Guard movement phase because I have some decisions to make. There's an objective here that I'd like a tactical squad to run onto at the end of the game. And an objective here. Hold down the statue. Hold down this ruin here. But one has come on in turn 1 unsupported by the multi-melter Sky Hunters. So they have come in down here being sneaky Raven Guard fellas right in the corner of this ruin. Because in turn 6... hopefully they end up over there. Then Dreadnought strides forward. It's got shots into the 1 hull point remaining Dracosian, which is leaking fuel and half on fire. The other one's going to get lit up by the 6 las cannons round here. The Terminators have moved around this flank. They can see the first target. They want to charge this unit that was pinned last turn, which obviously made a reaction. Took a few steps back, only moving 2 inches, not 3 inches because of close order drill. So they're going to get charged. Vehicles are going to get lit up. And then I have a Dark Fury squad that is hunting the Warlord to decapitate him. And you've zoned out pretty well.
Yeah, screened.
You screen out very well. So I feel like dropping in here, I mean, there's a pile of Volkite death here. But if we can get rid of this combat squad, then, I mean, what's going to stop them? Las guns? Surely not the las gun. So let's drop some Dark Furies in down here. What was that?
Don't miss.
I'd try not to. We'll try not. Let's see if a gust of wind catches them and blows them off course or not. No. That's a perfect Raven Guard deep strike landing. On silent wings, they land in amongst the Solar Auxilia lines. The veterans are going to need to take a pinning test. Leadership 10 as these guys land in around them and they're not pinned. And then you have the Ogryn as well. And they're not pinned. They probably don't even know what's going on right now. But let's start off. They're just happy to be here, taking part. Have you played Darktide?
Yes.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Who's your character in Darktide?
I like playing the veteran.
You like playing the veteran, man?
Yeah.
My veteran in Darktide is called Grammaticus. Nice. Yeah, the veteran's cool. I like the what's it called? Adept, Psyker, Sanctioned Psyker.
Yeah.
Just firing off big laser blasters.
Popping people's heads.
Popping people's heads is my bag. Talking about popping people's heads, let's start off by popping this tank open on 1 hull point remaining with 4 las cannon shots from a Dreadnought. Are you doing anything about this? No. Shrouding? Nothing?
No reactions.
No reactions. He's on 1 hull point or less, I guess. Anyway, all of these hit. Side armor 13, right?
Yeah.
With the sundering. It's 12 on the side. 3 penetrating, 1 glance, there is cover. So 6s all round.
6s on the pens.
Negative. It's definitely gone. Does it detonate right next to your lines? This could be painful. It doesn't detonate. It just turns into a smoking wreck. That is 1 tank down. Now aiming at tank number 2 with the 6 las cannons from the Javelin team. Are you doing anything about these shots?
This one's going to evade.
You're going to evade. Yeah, you got 2 reactions in the shooting phase. You might as well. This hits 4 times. It's front armor flare shield though.
Yeah.
So I need 5s to glance with 6s to pen with sunder for the reroll. Okay, 2 glances, 1 pen. There is cover in the way and also shrouding.
Glances first.
Yes.
6s.
Negative.
5 by 5s.
Wow.
Fine.
Okay.
And then a pen.
6.
5. No, pen goes 3.
So the glances ricochet off, but the penetrating hit can one-shot it if I roll a 6. And that's not a 6. It's just shaken again. After the anti-tank shots, we're going back to anti-infantry shots, firing the autocannon team one more time to this squad, running along the balcony up there. The sergeant hits on 2s. All the other guys, hit on 3s. And wound on 2s at AP4, which goes straight through the armour. So you need a bunch of 5 up ruin saves one more time. Ooh,
Nothing.
And this time I take out 8 of them. After the autocannon team shot at them, the big squad of 10 snipers in the commanding field of fire at the backfield rained everything into that squad, and they have been wiped out. The first tertio has fallen. This squad has got some wonky shots. This 5-man squad and this 5-man squad are going to fire down into the unit that we want to charge, because we'd very much like to pin them so you can't make any reactions as we go charging in. And I keep forgetting to roll the sergeant separately. You have 3 6-up saves to make on that squad, and you've already lost the sergeant.
6s.
And now you lost the Vexilla and 2 more, and you have to take a pinning test at leadership 6.
Yeah, so.
And they're not pinned.
Fine.
So let's do it again with snipers number 2, the sergeant, the other guys. These all wound on 2s, and that is 4 more 6-up cover saves. And
4
that
more.
is, okay, 6 died in total, and another pinning test as they're caught in a crossfire.
Double ones again.
And they're not pinned. So at the end of the shooting, 7 of them get taken out, and the Vexilla, the Vox, the sergeant is all gone. They got a leadership test at the end of the shooting phase. They might fall back anyway, so good luck with this.
6.
That's definitely more than 6. They're going to fall back 2d6 inches, which means my Terminators won't make the charge as they run off the battle grid. That's the second tertio wiped out. And then in the charge phase, we're coming around here. Do Dark Furies multi-charge Ogrins and Vets? I don't know. Because I don't know, the answer is just charge the Ogrins. And we're going 15 inches. No guns to overwatch with, no leadership test for bracing, just in case they fell back and got swept. And they're initiative 2, these Ogrins. So the Dark Furies get to fight first. So 3 choosers are slain in that squad with the higher weapon skill. So these are going to hit on 3s at initiative 5 because of sudden strike. And you're tough, but Raven's talents rend on 5s, re-roll him for shred, and that's just the choosers of the slain, but you do have a feel no pain.
Yeah, so 6, 5 up, feel no pain.
Yes.
Not a 1.
And here's the remaining Dark Furies, but these guys hit on 4s, rending on 5s, with shred. Many more, feeling of the pains.
How much does he feel?
He feels all the pains.
It's quite a lot of it.
That is the squad wiped out, and that is New Model Syndrome, and the Dark Furies are deep amongst the Solar Auxilia lines. So that's the end of turn 2. Real blood has now been spilt, and the chooser of the slains with their Dark Fury brethren are getting closer and closer to this decapitation strike to take out this traitor Legate Marshal. And a couple of 20-man bricks of Solar Auxilia have already been removed. However, there are a lot of Volkite guns here looking at the choosers of the slain. There's 20 axe guys over here as well, and there is a big gap in the middle of the table where no one is putting any of their forces. As we go into Solar Auxilia, turn 3. So in the movement phase, the Legate Marshal orders all guns to bear to bring on this threat that's coming in to kill him. Both of the units of vets, lining them up with their Volkites. After the Dracosian Dozer Blades isn't immobilized, pushes up the table. It's snap firing though, so its big Demolisher cannon will not be shooting in. However, lots of shots will be raining into the Dark Furies. The quad mortars moving back. This squad has got some line of sight through the windows as well. We'll see how they get on. There'll definitely be some shrouding over there. In the middle, Vanquisher tanks and armoured Dracosian all moving round to start throwing some firepower down on the fire support down by the statue there, and then pulling back a little bit. If you can keep the Terminators out of the fight for turn after turn, then you've kept the Terminators out of the fight. The reason why I sent them round here is up the middle is crazy. Also, there's an objective here, and if I'm not going to score it with them, but if I stop you scoring it, that's one less objective that you will be scoring. So yes, they're out of the fight, but they are influencing this battle. But we're going to start off the shooting phase round here with the Vanquishers throwing some firepower down into the Raven Guard lines over here. And I'm not reacting to any of this because I think I might need to keep my reactions in my back pocket for what's about to happen to the Dark Furies. So autocannon. It's the Javelin on 6s because you're snap firing because you went a long way. No,
did not hit.
And then the main turret gun.
On full ballistic skill on 4s.
Hits
one
once.
hit.
Wounds on a 2.
One wound.
Wounds. No cover.
Nope.
Goes straight through the armour. Takes 2 wounds off a Javelin. And the las cannon snap fires as well. And that misses. Tank number 2 that moves 6 inches so can fire all of its guns is coming into the autocannons. They're not reacting. Far away.
Autocannon.
Autocannon misses.
Missed. Vanquisher cannon.
Hits both of the times. Wounds on 2s. Wounds both of the times. It's brutal 2, but I have cover. So 4 up on one shot with a 6 up shroud, and then 4 up on the other shot with 6 up shrouds. You take down 2 of them. Bolter of the heavy variety. That hits all the times as well. Nice.
3 to wound. 3
Wounds all the times. Okay, that's pretty good for guards. 3 up saves. I don't take any wounds.
I made you roll the dice. That's what...
Definitely made me roll the dice. What's also going to make me roll the dice is the Dragosian. 2 las cannons coming in hot. It's not going to make me roll any dice because both of those shots fire over the head of the Raven Guard. So we're coming around here. Nothing else in line of sight and range to shoot round there. It's all of this mess is going to start pouring some firepower into the Dark Furies. So I'm doing my once per battle reaction, which allows me to move up to initiative. Also, I get shrouded until the end of the turn. So it's not like you shroud once. You can keep shrouding all the shots. We react, we move, and this squad unloads everything into them. Hitting on 3s with Volkite charges. That was good. Can you roll that to wound on 3s?
Less so.
Artificer in that squad, but they're at the front. So the guys at the back are tanking it all on 3s. And then they have 4 up shrouding from my special reaction. And 3 wounds get through and continue to burn with Deflagrate.
How bad do they blow up?
And another one continues to burn. 3 up. So 3 wounds in total. They have 2 wounds each. Now we're rinsing and repeating with squad number 2. Yeah. More Volkite love. On 3s. They're not as great a shot as their buddies. But can they wound better on 3s? About the same. 3 up saves. And then a special shrouding. 2 wounds get through, 2 more deflagration with Volkite. 2 more continue to burn. And that's 3 wounds in total, which means I've lost 3 Dark Furies in total. Next up, the Shatter Shells are going to try and pin them. This guy is too close. It's got a minimum barrage range. The other ones are landing here. You can see them, fortunately.
-4.
So that is actually a hit, and we'll hit all 4 of them.
Next one.
And that's going to go that way 3 inches. 7 guys. 7 guys get hit. 6s. That rends. Right. We've got some cover.
Yeah.
We're going to take our 6 up cover. We're going to take our 4 up shroud. And we're okay.
Fine. No
the shards just explode in and amongst the smoke screen. And none of them get taken out. However, you got 20 guys. Strength 6 shots now. Firing into the Dark Furies. Flashlights set to maximum blind. Drop dice don't count. Hitting on 4s though. A normal las rifle section. 7 hits out of 20 shots. 2s to wound. We have only 4 wounds. You know what? Choosers of the Slains are right there. All 3 of them. 2 up saves. We're good. I'd have made the 3 up saves anyway. The shots, the flashlights, just. I mean, you can see where they are now. Yeah. Next to this squad, we have the command squad. They're firing in. You could pin because of your warlord trait, but good luck. Let's see what we get. What we got?
Okay, so the warlord on a 2.
Okay.
Hits.
He hits.
And the 5 las rifles.
On 3s. That's
1 hit.
Two hits there. And wounds on 2s. It wounds. It wounds. You're shooting at artificer armor though. They're right there. And they make the saves anyway. No pinning. It will be a morale check though. I have lost 25% casualties. I think that is the end of your shooting phase.
It is.
Yeah, you fired in the middle. The Ogrins want to try and make a charge, busting through that wall to get to that dreadnought. So I do have a leadership test on these Dark Furies here, which are leadership 9. Don't fall back. Oh, I saw the 6.
Yeah.
They hold. Then we come over to this side of the battle grid where those Ogrins, you can just see them through the doorway there, are trying to charge this dreadnought, which will overwatch and only hit once. 3 of the shots just smash into the doorway. At least it wounds. There's a 5 up ruin save and a 5 up feel no pain.
Feel no pain.
And it feels a little bit of pain. Then you just need a 7-inch charge. How hard could it be? Not very hard at all. So the Ogrins come charging through, smashing through that doorway. They're initiative 2, so the Dreadnought gets to kick out first and kicks them twice and wounds them twice, but full armor saves of 4 up and a 5 up feel no pain. One of them's taken 3 wounds already.
One's down.
2 Bulgrins remaining. They have rage. They're charging in. Hitting on 5s though. Oh dear. Strength 7? Toughness 7.
4s and 5s rend. Or 6s rend.
Nothing.
Not this time.
Nothing. You lost that combat by...
I have lost that combat by 1.
I mean, I kicked... Yeah.
Leadership.
They
Fine.
hold. They hold. At least they've locked up the Dreadnought, which will stop it shooting. But that is the end of the Solar Auxilia's turn 3. They have breached the Raven Guard lines. That Dreadnought will be locked there for some time. And they've kept my Terminators out of the fight for many, many turns. I'm not too, as I said earlier, not too fussed about that. What I will be fussed about, however, is these Dark Furies jumping in, trying to go for your Warlord. And I've got a couple more reserves that might come on in this turn. The bikes come on a 3. The other tactical squad come on a 3. Everyone's in as we go to Raven Guard turn 3. At the end of the movement phase, the Raven Guard launched the second part of their ambush. The Sky Hunters come in this way, right behind the Dracosian armoured transport with all the vets inside. And here's the tactical squad. Mean to break that open and then charge the chocolatey goodness on the inside. That's deep within the Solar Auxilia lines. But talking about deep within the Solar Auxilia lines, the Dark Fury squad that were here jump through straight towards your commander's unit down here. 2 of them took wounds as they came jumping in because terrain and claymores and bear traps and things like that, but we're going straight after the Warlord. The Terminators continue to run turn 3. They're all the way over there. We will make it to that. It's a right and left flank. Dark Furies on this side, Terminators on the other side. Then in the middle, all the guns lining up to fire down. Starting off with 6 javelins shooting down at tank, which is evading. And we're hitting on 3s. And it's a Layman Russ. So front armor 14. And a 6 Will Pen. And then Sunder. 2 penetrating hits. 2 6-up cover saves. There's definitely stuff in the way.
6 up.
And you didn't even need to shroud. The shots just thump into this thing in front and hurt the thing in front. What's it called? Pillbox.
Bunker.
Bunker. Let's do some, before we get down to this lot, let's do some sniper fire down here and try and pin these guys one more time. Do you want to do anything about this?
They'll also shroud.
They'll also shroud.
Yeah.
Okay. The Sarge and the other guys, one more shot. We are...
Well, they can't shroud.
They can't shroud, actually. Yeah, you're right. We're winning on 2s. There is cover in the way, so you do get 6-up saves. Only on 2 dice.
Oh.
So one of them passed. So on a 1, 2, 3, it was that one. It was that one. So only 1 died. So that's the sergeant taken out. And then I got down and had a good look from all the guys over here to see what we could see. And it turns out there's like 3 of them that can see these 3. And that's it.
Nice.
And we hit him all the times. We wound them all the times, but you're in the ruin there, the barricade and stuff. So these are 5-up saves on those 3 guys. And
all
you're
good.
Okay. I forgot, we've got to do a pinning test over here on this unit, right?
Yeah, you're right.
After they got hit by the sniper fire.
So it's on 10 with the Vox. They're fine.
They hold. And that is the end of my shooting phase, except for the bikes shooting the Dracosian in the back. And you might as well shroud. You've got 2 reactions in there. Mind you can't. Improvisers. They've got improvisers on that squad as well, on the Sarge, who hits on a 2, and multi-melters are twin linked. And then the other 5 multi-melters hit on 3s, and that's twin linked. And that's a lot of rear armor penetrating your thing. What's the rear armor of Dracosian?
It's 11.
It's 11, is it?
Got a bad feeling.
Strength 8. First one. Pens. Second one. Pens. Third one. Pens. Fourth one. Pens. Fifth one. Pens. 6. That's 6 pens.
Yeah.
6 penetrating hit. No cover. I need 5s.
I'm hoping this blows up.
Blows up could hurt me. There's a lot of my guys nearby. Maybe I'll put them a bit too close. It does blow up. It blows up. 5 inches. This is going to hurt a lot of my guys. So we measured up. Turned out 5 inches was just perfect enough not to hit any of your guys, but hits every single one of my guys. It's like Sinch said, screw you. Here's 10 dice. 10 of my tactical marines are wounded on 2s. That is
7.
7. So 7 3-up saves. I lose 2 of them in the explosion, and then there are 6 bikes.
2's to wound.
Okay, 4. I don't have to put any of these on the Sarge then. 3-up saves. I lose a bike and 2 guys. The 2 guys that got hit by an exploding vehicle must take a pinning test. And they're pinned.
Oof.
So they're not going to be charging the goodness that came out after it went boom boom. Bikes don't need to take a pinning test though, because bikes can never be pinned. Do the what now?
These guys are already out, so there's no chocolatey goodness.
Oh yeah, there was no. They got out last turn.
Yeah.
So nothing to charge, which is okay because we're pinned anyway. So at the end of the shooting phase, the flank on this side was flanked a bit too hard, pinning my own unit in place. No charges around there, because you can only charge what you shot at in Heresy, and what I shot at in Heresy is no longer there. We're coming back around here to the Choosers of the Slain, the Dark Fury squad. There's multiple options down here, but they're only going into the commander. And you're choosing to brace. Leadership 10ers, they brace. That drops my attacks down. You can challenge if you want to.
I'd love to.
You'd love to challenge. I'm challenging too. One of my Choosers of the Slain, the injured fella, steps up at initiative 5 and he'll strike first. And he's got a weapon skill of 5. What's the weapon skill of your Legate Marshal?
5.
Is it? We are hitting you on 4s with preferred enemy. Decapitation strike. We only hit 3 times. Strength 4 versus toughness 3. Wounds on a 3. But rends on a 5-up. And so that's a rending hit and 2 other hits into your Legate Marshal.
2 up armors. Well,
Drop dice don't count. You fail one of them,
failed.
and there's the 3-up and bun.
Failed that as well.
He takes 2 wounds, but he's not dead yet. He's taken 2 wounds, but he's got 2 wounds remaining. 4 wounds. What a hench. I love it. Here's the remaining Chooser of the Slain, striking the rest of your command squad. On 3s. Reroll that one for the drop 1, and there's the preferred enemy. 3's wound, 5's rend. With shred. So I think that, unless you've got invulnerable saves, they're dead.
They certainly don't.
And then those are normal, well, they're AP3
So 4
saves.
are dead. So 5 are dead, the squad is dead, and
Right.
then it's just on to this guy who's got 3 2-ups to make. He's okay.
He's okay, he's still alive. What initiative is he?
He's initiative 4. He's
So
going at the same time.
he can strike back at the same time against my Chooser of the Slain. He's hitting him on 3s, 4s, 4s.
Yeah, 4's back with Master Crafted.
He hits 3 times.
Hits. So I'm wounding you on 3s. 3
Three.
AP2s.
That kills him.
That
kills the guy in the challenge. You take down the Chooser of the Slain. But then I've got the remaining Dark Furies, which are all going to slap him. And you made me disordered, so less attack. So we're now striking you on 5s, because he's got a better weapon skill. 3s to wound him with a bit of shredded wheat. Okay, he might live. That's an invuln. Those are artificer saves.
Okay, 3 up invuln.
Yes. That's really cocked.
That's
Try that
cocked.
again.
He's okay. And then 3 2-up armors. On 1 wound.
He's on 1 wound remaining. You did 3 wounds for combat resolution.
Yeah.
I did 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Is he stubborn? He is stubborn. Leadership 10 stubborn. Hanging in there.
He's all good.
And he holds.
He loves it.
We'll pile in some models. We'll wrap him up. But it's your Legate Marshal surrounded by 6 more Dark Furies. Well, 4 Dark Furies and 2 Choosers of the Slain. This fight is ongoing as we go on to Ravengard. No. Solar Auxilia. Turn 4. 1 minute. We forgot the good fight in the middle with the Dreadnought versus the Ogryns. Dreadnought has the higher initiative and higher weapon skill. He strikes out first. Hits one of them. Wounds one of them. 4-up save. 5-up feel no pain. Please make a save.
He's going to do it. He's going to make 1 save this game.
You make
He's
a
done.
save. And the Ogryns hit back. This
5s to hit.
Okay. Less attacks,
better.
but they still struck the same number of times.
And 4's to wound, 6's rend.
2 wounds.
2 wounds, 2 armor saves.
I make the saves. That combat is locked up and we go on to Solar Auxilia turn 4. In the Solar Auxilia movement phase, both of the veteran squads come down to this corner. There's an objective over here. Their transports have been ruined and they've been told, to take it. I would have liked to have reacted and moved back with the tactical squad and then jump on you, but they're pinned. Can't make reactions. Not too worried about the bikes. If you shoot them, the Overwatch is terrifying. If you charge them, they can hit and run. So I'm kind of okay with the bikes. You did some shuffling as well with Tertio Squad number 2 over here to try and get as much line of firepower as you could into my Terminator squad with my Praetor. So he reacted. He decided to come forward. He's not scared of the flashlights. Down around this side, your Legate Marshal is locked up in close combat, so the team stood next to him are just watching on, unless they want to go charging in, sell themselves as well, which they could potentially do. And then the tanks move around to try and do something about the heavy firepower coming out the courtyard in the middle of the battle grid. Remember, there's still 20 vets inside there with their storm axes. It's not an assault vehicle, so you can't get out and charge from it. You've got to do it a turn before. You've got to think ahead. But let's go to the shooting phase. Starting the shooting phase, splinter shells rained in amongst the bikes and put 1 wound on one of them, but bikes can't be pinned. Now the veteran squad are firing everything into the tactical squad here. They're going to be hitting on 3s with all their Volkite charges and wounding on 3s because they're Volkite charges. And I can't react to this because they're pinned, so 3-up saves. You wipe out 4 of them. I also don't get my 6-up shrouding save because I'm within 8 inches of you. The 4 wounds continue to burn. It's Volkite, forcing 3 more saves. And in the end, you've taken out 6. There'll be 2 left. One of them's the sergeant. With only 2 tactical marines remaining, squad number 2 are going to fire in at the bikes. I've got reaction. Am I going to shroud? I would like to shroud this, I think, or am I returning fire? 1 minute. No, go for it. It's lightning can't strike twice.
3s.
Plus they have 2 wounds, and you rolled really badly.
I did.
5s to wound.
3s to wound.
3s to wound. What am I talking about?
4.
Only 4 wounds came through. One of them is injured. And 2 bikes are gone. Deflagrate as it continues to burn.
1 more.
2 bikes are gone. That means 3 bikes are gone because 1 died in the explosion. These vets with the Volkite, they're doing the most amount of work for you.
They're hard working.
If you're starting a Solar Auxilia army, get loads of these guys. Can they come in squads of 20? I don't think they can, the vets.
Yeah, they
They
can.
can?
Yeah, up to 20 as long as you have a las cannon Dracosian to fit them in.
Okay. Yeah, because you want them up the table shooting stuff. So a 20-man squad with a las cannon Dracosian, that's quite a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. Maybe do it twice. More shooting. Tanks. You've lined up to shoot at javelins.
Certainly have.
Yeah, one of them is definitely jinking. So, first up, the auto cannon.
4s.
Hits.
1 hit.
3s to wound.
3 to wound. 6 ran.
Doesn't wound.
Does mean the Vanquisher hits with a reroll now.
Hits once.
Doesn't hit with a reroll. 2 to wound. 1
Wounds.
wound.
So, you didn't never get cover with javelins because of anti-grav. So I have shrouding saves and it's brutal 2. So I've got 2 of them on a 5. And you re-roll shrouding saves for javelins, harbingers of the Legion. And 1 takes a wound. 1's on 1 wound remaining. And then there's a las cannon in the nose, which hits. And wounds. 5 up. 5 up. The first javelin is taken out. Vanquisher number 2. Same target.
Autocannon. 4s. 1 hit. 3s to wound. 1 wound.
3-up save. Take a wound.
Okay. Vanquisher next with a twin link because it hit with the coaxial.
That's the thing.
2 to wound.
Wounds. 3 wounds in total off that javelin.
Yeah.
No save.
And then the heavy bolter.
I think heavy bolters have 4 shots. I think you've been doing it wrong all this time.
Oh, I play Imperial Fist as well. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
5s wound, no wounds.
One of the javelins is down to 1 wound remaining. Then the Dracosian takes aim
2 shots on 4s.
and hits once.
2 to wound.
And kills. Kills that last javelin. Closing out the shooting phase, this brave squad of guardsmen put a wound on my Praetor squad of Terminators. One of them takes a wound. That is the end of the shooting phase. And there's quite a bit of morale for the Raven Guard. There is a world where it all falls apart for the Raven Guard right now, because I've got morale on the Javelin, on the bikes, and on this tactical squad, and I don't want to lose all 3 of them. So we'll start off with the bikes, leadership 8. They're falling back 3d6 inches. They're gone. They're gone. The tactical squad next to them, they hold. And this javelin over here, the last of my long-range Dakar, that's not just a simple autocannon, they hold as well. But this big, expensive unit of bikes, which is fast and could cause trouble later in the game, disappeared. Now the bikes are gone. This squad is going to charge. Tactical Marines, 6-inch charge.
Here we go.
That's a 7.
They just got
There goes charging in there. And you're also going to charge with something else?
So my las rifles are going to throw themselves into the Terminators.
Into the Terminators?
It means you're not going to get the extra charge distance. They want to protect the guys in the corner.
It means I don't come towards you, instead you're coming towards me.
Certainly am.
I don't know what the charge is. It looks like with cover, probably a 7 or 8. So let's roll and then we'll check. And that's a 4.
They ain't going to make it.
That's a failed charge. This squad surged forward a little bit, so you're kind of pushing me back a little bit. The big other 20-man squad of dudes is not charging into the Dark Furies. They're seeing what's going on there as we are eviscerating our way through your HQ command structure, and they're going to stand there and overwatch or rapid fire or do something when that combat is resolved. But now we're going to the fight phase. I feel like we should start here because you charged here with your dudes.
Certainly did.
But I've got higher initiative.
You do.
So the guy with the normal bolt gun fights you, but Legion vets have got a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 4. Solar Auxilia Fentaris. Yeah, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, and initiative 4. What's that all about? Anyway, so what happens at the same time, I will do my dice, though, on you. The normal guy hits you and doesn't wound one. And then 2 attacks with a lightning claw on the sergeant. He hits once. It's a wound on a 3. Well, kill 1 on a 3. With shred, he kills 1 with his Raven's Talon. But at the same time, you get to fight. You got 21 attacks. No specialist weapons on the sergeant. You're hitting on 4s. It's the 5s to wound that's tricky, though. We are transhuman, and you
Just
did
the one.
1 wound. I make the save. You lost that combat.
Certainly did.
Your leadership is -1.
So 9 because of the Vox. Oh no,
-1 because I
the
beat by
Master
1.
Vox is already dead, so he's down.
Well,
to
they're
the
normally
sergeant.
leadership 7, which
So
becomes
they've
leadership
lost.
6. They've lost. You went charging in and you lost.
Yeah.
We have initiative roll off. If I beat you, I sweep the whole squad after you. You rolled a 2.
2. Oh,
I rolled a 2. They do manage
that
to
means
break
you catch me.
and fall back. No, it's got to beat you.
Oh, okay.
If it's a multi-combat, if it's equal, you get core. If it's slow-low combat, it's got to be higher than.
Nice.
So you do fall back 2d6 inches. So I may only have 2 Raven Guard Tactical Marines here, but they are Raven Guard Tactical Marines. And they beat you off.
They did.
That was quite painful. You've fallen back right on to the objective. We're going to come back over here to the fight with the Dreadnought versus the Ogrins. Dreadnought kicks out, hits twice this time. Wounds once this time.
Here we go.
4 up. You make a save. You
Done
made a save.
They are wearing armour.
You haven't done 1 wound to the Dreadnought yet, though.
No.
So let's turn that frown upside down on 5s.
5s.
And you hit twice.
There we go.
You're going to wound on 4s, 6s rend. There's a rend.
Done it.
There's a rend, 5 up.
We
No,
didn't do it.
there's not. No, there's not a rend.
Tied up again.
You're tied up again. See, I'm quite happy. This is fine. You're tied up there with all your stuff. I'm happy with that. There is 1 more combat that we need to resolve, though. Your Legate Marshal, who's got initiative 4, is busy trying to cleave apart the Dark Furies down here. Majority is weapon skill 4, so you actually hit on 3s.
Yeah.
He's a G. He's a 200-point G. Let's go. With Master Crafted. Okay, Paragon Blade.
3s to wound, 6s
Six
are
is
instant death.
That kills 1.
Yeah.
And 1 of them is injured. So 2 of them are dead.
2 have died.
So I've got 2 choosers and 2 Dark Furies left. He's been doing work, but I don't think he's long for this world. As the choosers, hit him on 4s. Ouch. That's a crazy number of hits there. And I reroll 1s, preferred enemy. That's still in effect. Got dice don't count. I'm wounding him on 3s with a bit of shredded wheat. And those are 3 up invulnerable saves, and those are 2 up artificer saves.
Well, he's only got 1 left.
Yes.
So it's 3 ups.
Oh no.
2 of them. He's gone.
He's gone. He's gone. That is Slay the Warlord. That's the extra 2 points for the decapitation strike. Raven Guard doing what Raven Guard do. The Dark Fury squad consolidate, looking at this las rifle section here. That is the end of turn 4 for the Solar Auxilia. Losing their warlord has been a blow, but I've lost the bike squad, which wanted to zip forward and tag one of these tanks. Now my anti-tank fire, well, is locked up in combat, or is a lone javelin left there. So the remaining tanks might be able to move around with impunity for the rest of the game, as we go into Raven Guard turn 4. In the Raven Guard movement phase, my Praetor squad with the Terminators coming straight towards this las rifle section here, while the 4 remaining Dark Furies are lined up to join in the murder and kill this las rifle section along here. Then all the las rifle sections will be removed. So it's about the veterans who are troops in this list, because these are some of the old 500. I moved forward with my tactical marines here. You step back. With cover, that'll be a 6-inch charge. There's a potential failed charge, and I don't think I want to shoot them, because then you'll return fire as well as Overwatch when I go charging in there. Maybe you want to Overwatch the Dark Furies instead, because only one reaction in the assault phase. And then there's a second squad I need to deal with later. Also, I'm very aware that there's loads of axes here inside this thing. Now, if I blow it up and then force you out, then in your turn you can charge some stuff. But also, if I blow it up, I can shoot some stuff. Last turn, my snipers didn't really have a nice target. It would be nice to snipe down at the dudes who come out of that. Maybe pin them in place, maybe hold down the centre of the battle grid. Meanwhile, Tactical Squad number 2 that came on in turn 2 are running down towards this objective here, because I've got 2 turns to get there. We're now on to the shooting phase. We're going to start the las cannon, point blank range, firing at Dracosin. Doing anything about this, sir?
Which one? The javelin.
Javelin, point blank. You're evading, you're popping smoke. Here's the las cannons. One of them hits. Front number 14 with a flare shield. That's a glance. I could re-roll it with Sunder, but I'm not gonna.
So shredded, doesn't make it.
And then the multi-misser. Hits, 2d6, armor bane. Pens, 5 up shrouding.
5 up.
No.
Doesn't make it.
Does
what does it do?
The multi-melter torch off something explosive? No, it doesn't. It just immobilizes it. So the juicy goodness hasn't been popped open, so I'm going to fire the autocannon team in. Strength 7 versus armor 14, but I do run on a 6. So let's try and take some more hull points off of it. Here's the sergeant. Here's all the other remaining shots which hit on 3s. And these are strength 7, 6 is rend. So I'm looking for 6s. Because that gets me up to strength 13 on my gun. 7 plus 6 is 13, and then it's D3 on top of this. Yeah. So a glance, 2 pens. That's 3 hull points. No cover. If it gets immobilized again, it'll die. What do the penetrating results do? Immobilize it again.
Certainly did.
It's a wrecked vehicle. But do they get pinned as they come climbing out? They don't get pinned as they come climbing out. They might get pinned from all the sniper weaponry that's going to ricochet into them right about now. So 20 axe guys disembark in the square below the guns of the Raven Guard snipers. Here is the 5-man unit. The sergeant hits on the 2. The other squad hits on 3s. This wounds on 2s. And you have 6 up cover saves against that, or 5 up cover saves. You've got barricade there.
5 up.
Okay,
No, 2 of them gone.
Pinning test.
So there are 8. They're fine.
And if there is a sergeant in there, I definitely sniped his head off.
Yeah.
And then squad number 2, 10 las cannons, 2 on the sarge, 3s on the other guys, 2s to wound, AP 4, barricades on this side, and then 6
some in the open.
Some in the open. Well, 6s you can put around the back, so
yeah.
Let's get half of them for the barricade and then half 6-ups.
Okay, so 3 on the barricade.
Yeah.
1 and then 4 6-ups.
And a pin.
Sergeant's dead. They're still good.
The last unit of snipers up here fired down into the squad that the Terminators want to charge and killed the Vexilla, and they're pinned. They're pinned, so the Terminators should be able to easily make that charge. That's the end of the shooting phase. They're still alive.
They're still kicking.
They're not pinned. They're very close to charging through to my lines. And they take a leadership test at the end of the shooting phase. Are they going to run? They're not going to run.
They're very brave.
They're insanely brave. They hang in there. I don't think that my autocannon team will be long for this world. But now we're on to the charge phase. We're going to start off the charge phase by declaring the Terminators against this pinned squad down here, so they can't react. And the Terminators make a 1-inch charge, just, but that means not very many of them are going to be in combat. Over here it's a 6-inch charge for my Tactical Marines, and around the back it's auto in for the Dark Furies because of the pluses to charge, because of jump packs. Who do you want to Overwatch with?
These guys are falling back, so
they can't.
They need to take a leadership chance, or they're going to get run over.
Well, if I catch you, that is, it's a 6. If I don't make the charge, and I fail the charge, they don't have to pass their leadership test.
Good.
So it's in the backfield. You can Overwatch.
We're going to flashlight you.
20 flashlights, full strength. Into Dark Furies, hitting on 4s. Wounding on 2s. And there's only 4 of them left. So what I'm going to do is tank a couple on a Chooser of the Slain. And these on 3-up saves. And one of them takes a wound, and they'll jump in. There's 4 of them. 2 are Choosers of the Slain, and 2 are other guys. And that is a dangerous terrain test, which I get a 4-up invulnerable save against, which one fails. And one of the Choosers of the Slain was injured. On the 1, 2, 3, it was the injured guy, and he dies. He doesn't die. Both of the Choosers of the Slain are injured. They charge in, adding 3 to it, 10 inches. They're in a long way. Yeah. The Dark Fury make it here. Hammer of Wrath, impact hits, run into 4 of them, 4-up armors, and I crush 2 of them just on the way in. And then we hit you on 3s with Choosers of the Slain. I should have done it all together because we all hit on 3s and wound on 3s and re-roll wounds with Shred, and it's all AP3. So that's another 6 more dead. 8 so far before the guard even get to strike, and he is the remaining Dark Fury bodyguards. 8, 9, 10, 14. 14 of them wiped out. 6 guys strike back. 1 of them's a sergeant. You're hitting on 5s. 2 of them land blows.
5 to wound.
2 of them wound. 2 3-up saves. I'm not putting them on Choosers. They injure 1. 4 Dark Furies left. 3 of them are injured. They are suffering for their art, but they have killed the Warlord, and we've got a leadership test on this second squad that they just struck. Snake Eyes. No Snake Eyes.
Close.
Initiative roll-off. That's a 5.
I don't think I can beat you.
That's a 3. And they sweep the entire 20-man squad. We consolidate, standing in the ruins of their city, standing in the desolation of our enemies. We have broken their HQ structure. And now the Terminators attack the second 20-man light rifle section. Now, interestingly, I've got 5 that can fight. 2 of them have got axes, so it's just these 3 claws fighting first. We have grenades on the Praetors, so we are going at initiative high, hitting on 3s, killing on 3s with the reroll, because that's what claws do. And that is 8 taken out. And then the guard can fight back. Then the brave little guardsmen pile in. 7 of them can fight back against the Terminator Elite.
5s to hit. Hey, not bad.
3 of them land blows.
5s to wound. 2.
2 wounds. One of my guys is on a wound. Can you take down a Terminator? Is a hero born this day? Yes!
Certainly is.
A hero has been born this day. Double ones. This is one of my axe guys as well, and he's at the front. So you actually stop some attacks coming back. There's only 1 more axe now striking you. On 3s, I hit once, killing on a 2. I don't even kill anyone. However, at the end of that combat, does someone scream? Does someone tell them to pull back 2d6 inches on the leadership? You need Snake Eyes. You definitely don't get Snake Eyes. Then we have an initiative roll off. Initiative 3 plus 6 is 9. My Praetor's initiative 5. Plus 4 is 9. You actually managed to fall back.
Okay.
And if you fall back a short distance, you might not actually be off the battle grid. 3 inches? They do break out of that combat.
Stuck around.
They don't run off the battle grid. So the las rifle section fall back, the Terminators consolidate, las rifle section hang around because they're busy slapping Dave on the back. Dave took out a Terminator. He punched a building, a JCB, with the butt of his gun, and the building fell over. He's like, wow, stories will be sung of his deeds one day. That is the end of turn 4. It is a 6-turn game. We're going to go on to turn 5 and 6. Scoring units here. Scoring units here. Scoring units here. Objectives all over the place. And let's not forget the Axemen who are not pinned and scoring in the middle of the battle grid as well. My scoring units are the snipers all the way up here, which aren't going to get down to these objectives by turn 6. I'm relying on the tactical marines to score these objectives, and I'm also relying on the rest of my army to kill your scoring stuff, to stop your scoring stuff from winning in this War of Lies. So it's hotting up. It's been absolutely brutal for the Auxilia, but that's just a Tuesday for the Auxilia, and it's anyone's game as we go into Auxilias, turn 5. Here we are partway into the movement phase. We haven't done the regroup tests yet, but your Storm section squad with the axes. Tell people what you're thinking here.
Okay, so they're going to multi-charge the Javelin and the Dreadnought.
Why?
That makes me less killy by dropping my attacks by 1 on each guy. And I'm hoping I'm still in combat with you in your turn to prevent the wall of snipers from destroying the unit.
Because you could send them into the autocannon team, and I think that's a dead autocannon team, if you do.
It is, but I'll lose half the unit on Overwatch.
Yes. And then once you kill the autocannon team, then you've got the tactical squad and the snipers, which will just pick on them, and that'll be your last scoring unit.
Yeah.
Gone from the middle, not last scoring unit, but the scoring unit that you have in the middle of the battle grid gone. So you're going to charge a Dreadnought.
Going to charge a Dreadnought.
The idea is to kill it in my turn or something, and then maybe fall back onto that objective and score and win at the end of the game.
That's the hope.
They are glory boys with their Storm axes, aren't they?
They are. They love a murderous strike right at the end.
Okay. And then the tanks move round to eye up the autocannon down here. There isn't much of your army left, but to be fair, there isn't much of my army left either. Down here, the second unit of veterans want to take on these 2 tactical marines. The other unit, we need to test their regroup. We haven't done their regroup.
7.
And they keep falling back.
Right.
They lost that combat. They see the Space
7.
Marines charging towards them, and they're like, no, we want no part of this. Or maybe they're doing it perfectly and they're calling to Team Beta, their Team Alpha, Team Beta, you light them up. We'll keep falling back. So they fall back, not slowed by terrain, and then we have Dave, the Terminator's killer unit. Does he regroup? No, the sergeants, now they fall back.
He's gone.
They stop clapping me on the back. Let's get out of here. There's Terminators and a Praetor. Let's go.
They live to fight another day.
We opened up the shatter shells one more time, firing into this squad of Dark Furies, and you did a wound. So they're all on 1 wound now, all 4 of them. And they take a pinning test. Leadership 8. And they hold. Then we come down the flank to the elite of the elite. 20 Volkite Charger shots into my tactical squad. They're shrouding. They're definitely ducking and covering. You're hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s with the Volkite. Okay. 4 wounds. Well, 2 3-up saves. And 2 2-up saves. Spreading out across. So one of the little guys gets injured unless he manages to shroud. He does shroud. The shroud kept me alive. The shots go wide. You can snap fire with the squad that is falling back, however. 6 is because you're snap firing. There's a couple of hits.
4 of them.
4 hits. Nice. 3s to wound. Okay, you wound 3 times. 2 of them hit the sergeant with Artificer, and 1 of them hits the other guy. And you burn the squad that charged in. It was all a plan. You drew them into the trap, and wiped out that tactical squad. That objective down there is looking quite tasty for the guard. And all we really have left to shoot is the vanquishers over here, firing at
the
autocannon team. Okay, here's the tracer fire from the coaxial autocannon. It hits both of the times. It wounds. Both of the times I have 3-up saves. You kill 1 at the 6-up shroud. You kill 1 of them.
Vanquisher cannon. With twin link because the coaxial hit. 1 hit. Didn't wound.
Oh, and last cannon.
He's got a heavy bolter.
Okay. 3 of those hits.
1 wound.
3 up. 6 up. You kill another. You've killed 2. Now we're on to tank number 2, firing at the same target.
Yep, coaxial first. 1 hit. 1 wound.
1 wound. 1 passed save. Vanquisher, battle canon. Hits both of the times.
2 to wound.
Wounds both of the times. 4 up skirmish saves. 4 up skirmish saves. So 1 got through for a 6 up, and the other 2 got through for 6 ups. Note, you kill 2 more. And then there's a las cannon in the nose on this, which hits. And wounds. I need a 4 up and then a 6 up. And at the end of that anti-tank fire, down into the autocannon team, there's only 2 left. And they have to take a leadership test at the end of the shooting phase. And they hold. That is the shooting phase done, and with the precious little assets the Solar Auxilia have, they are making them sing. I mean, I don't think anyone's getting to that objective or that objective anytime soon, but I feel like you've probably got this one.
Confident on that one.
There's only 1 turn to go. You can definitely get on there. Who gets the one in the middle? Don't know. But you were thinking about not charging the autocannon team, but now they're looking kind of weak.
Yeah, it's a different game now.
So you're in a chocolate box environment. There's lots of mini chocolates in the box. Who do you want to charge with a howling axemen of doom?
I'm still very afraid of the wall of sniper rifles.
There's quite a lot.
So we're still going to multi-charge.
Okay.
Javelin's the primary.
Yes.
And I'll multi-charge into the other 2 if I can string it along.
Okay, well the Javelin, it'd be rude not to Overwatch.
Yeah.
Multi-melter's twin-linked. And then the las cannons are not twin-linked. The multi-melter misses. Let's re-roll the hit. Okay, all 3 of them hit. None of them wound.
We're dipping, diving. They've all watched Dodgeball. They're ready for it.
Yeah, none of them sniped last turn. So let's see how far you make it on the charge. You are in terrain. You're clambering all over terrain. So that'll be a 5-inch charge. And I think you make them both. Yep, you easily make it. At the end of the charge, it looks like this. This is the only charge of the turn. You're initiative 1.
Yeah.
So at least I get to fight first. So the Dreadnought is obviously going to kick out at these axemen that have come up charging behind. He's not too impressed by the Ogrins. He hits them on 3s. He hits once. He'll kill 1 on a 2. He takes out 1. And then I've got the chainsword attacks.
4 up armor against it.
Oh yeah, he's got
no
yeah,
fists.
it was just chomp, yeah.
4 up. No, you certainly did kill him.
Yeah, he treads on one of them. And then the chainsword from the speeder dude misses every single time. I've only killed 1. And now you can divide it. Well, you got the Ogrins next. The Ogrins next. Hit on 5s, because they are going against the Dreadnought. 4 hits this time, they've got their eye in.
We're doing it.
Can they wound?
They can. 2 rends, 1 wound.
Okay, so this is a 2-up save. These are 5-up saves. The Dreadnought's down to 3 wounds remaining. Then the Solar Auxilia pile in. We've got 3 on the Javelin, 8 on the Dread, including the Sergeant. What are we starting off with?
Starting against the Dreadnought, so we're hitting on 5s.
Yeah.
3 hits.
Okay. 6 wound, but they're murderous strike. No wounds, which is kind of what you wanted.
Yeah, hoping that they'll keep going.
3 on the Javelin.
3 hits. You only got to skill 4.
No,
1 hit.
1 hit. Strength 5, toughness 6.
Nothing.
Doesn't wound. Did you lose that combat by 1?
No, we did 1 each.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you're not even going to break.
We've done it.
They're locked up.
Not getting shot this turn.
Not getting shot by auto cannons, by snipers, by the Dreadnought, locking me up in the middle of the board with this storm section here. And the Raven Guard have a tactical squad that want to come running over there. Snipers, which won't be able to see or shoot anything. Maybe I can plunge some firepower down here. I've got a Dark Fury squad, which are battered and bleeding, but we're definitely going to go into these rapiers and stop them shooting away. And round here we've got some Terminators that look like they're going to charge a tank as we go into Raven Guard, turn 5. Here we are at the end of the Raven Guard movement phase, minus hitting and running with the Javelin, which I'm going to do in a minute. I forgot to do it at the end of my turn. But in the movement phase, we're trying to get towards this objective and lock it down and throw sniper fire in while the Terminators go after the tanks over here. And in the backfield, the Dark Furies are trying to clear out all of this. Well, this is where the Solar Auxilia commander was. This is where the command structure was. This is where the artillery has been raining in all game. They must be wiped out. It kind of leaves the elites doing what elites do down here, but that's fine by me. I might be able to get some sniper fire in on them. But at the end of last turn, I should have hit and run with the javelin, which we're doing now. I don't want to roll a 5 or 6. I roll a 5 or 6. We don't hit and run. We're still locked up.
Oh no.
It would have been nice to pull back and put a melter shot in the side of a tank or something, but we're not doing that. You'll notice as well, the autocannon team also step forward because they're going to charge. They don't care about your axis. They're going to charge. So in the shooting phase, well, I've just got snipers. So I need to get down and have a good look to see if I can see any of those elites. Turns out the big 10-man squad can see the 4 here on this side. So we're going to shoot the 4 here on this side with sniper rifles. And it doesn't include the sergeant. That hits on 2s. These hit on 3s. And wound on 2s. With a 5-up ruin save. And I take down the 4 I could see. That squad get cut down to 6 remaining. They take a pinning test. Don't fail this.
They're all good.
You don't fail this, and you don't want to fail the leadership test in the shooting phase as well, because that is the end of the shooting phase. Do they break and run?
They do.
And they do.
How far do they go?
8 inches that way. So in turn 6, even if they regroup and they regroup, neither of these elite squads are going to be able to jump onto an objective. So the last hope to lock down one of these objectives is somehow you winning this combat in the middle and jumping onto an objective, and then in turn 6 not getting pinned or something from the snipers up here. We're going to charge. The autocannon team jumps up and over, and they make it there. And then we have the Dark Furies in the back corner into the quad launchers, and they go all the way in as well. In the fight phase, down in this quarter, the rapiers are no longer here. I think I would have killed like 11 times over or something. They died.
Yeah.
They died horribly to the Dark Furies, who consolidate and look at some more prizes. Now we're going down to the big fur fight in the middle of the battle grid. And we're starting off the attacks with the autocannon team that went charging in there. They're hitting on 4s. They're wounding on 3s. They do 2 wounds to your storm axes.
4-ups.
And take one of them out. The javelin strikes out once and has shred, but the chains doesn't do anything. And the dreadnought tries to jump on one with its foot. 2 of them hit. 1 of them wounds.
4-up armor. And
you dodge to one side, and I've only killed 1.
Okay.
Now the storm section can fight back. Well, actually, it starts off with the Ogrins one more time.
Ogren have been practicing.
Yeah.
5s to hit.
Yeah.
They didn't practice hard enough.
No, just 1 hit.
4 to wound.
It wounds. It rends. And they have been practicing.
Okay.
That Dreadnought's on 2 wounds left. You need to kill this. You need to kill. I can't tell you enough how much you need to kill this. Mind you, if you kill it in my turn 6 and then fall back 3, there's still a chance.
There's a chance.
So where are you putting the remaining attacks?
Maybe
you've
I
got
do
3 on the javelins. You've got the autocannon team. You've got that.
Okay, I'm going to pile in this guy towards the autocannons.
Okay.
And so there's going to be 3 into the autocannons, 1 into the javelin, and 6 into the dreadnought.
That sounds like a plan.
The sergeant's going into the autocannon squad.
Okay.
Autocannons first.
Okay.
4s to hit.
2 hits.
2 hits. 3s to kill.
You don't kill any.
They missed.
Right.
1 guy into the javelin. Hits on a 4.
He hits.
Wounds on a 5.
Doesn't wound. No wound so far. 6 into dreadnoughts.
6. So 5s to him.
You're making this look hard. You don't
Didn't do it.
hit with anything.
We've drawn combat once again.
I lost a dude, a unit, a model. You lost. Yes, it's a drawn combat. We're locked up. That is the end of turn 5. With the veterans fighting for their life in the middle of the battle grid, with the other 2 units of veterans falling back away from this objective, which they bravely and briefly stole off the Raven Guard. I even forgot to charge with my Terminators over there, which is fine. I don't think it changes the shape of the battle. It's fine. Let's go on to Solar Auxilia, turn 6. In the Solar Auxilia's movement phase, both of these veterans regroup. They're keeping their heads down, staying way away from the snipers. At least they survived this fight with transhuman monstrosities. This tank, move round, put some shots into my Terminator squad, killed a couple of them. Again, don't think that actually changes who wins and who loses this battle. It's all about this fight in the middle. and whether you stop me scoring this objective with my tactical marines, and whether you score one with your power axe squad or not. So this tank has moved up and over. We shot one of the tanks. This tank is firing into the tactical squad. Tactical squad are definitely shrouding.
Okay, Snapfire in the coaxial.
Yes.
Doesn't hit. Vanquisher on full ballistic skill. 1 hit. 2 wound. Doesn't wound.
Even wound.
Las cannon Snapfire in. Missed.
Nothing. Nothing happened, and that's the end of the shooting phase. So it's all about this combat here.
It is.
Let's fight. Starting off with these 2 guys and the sergeant hitting your guys. 2 hits with the axe into the axe guys. 1 wound into one of the axe guys. Can I kill more than 1?
4 up. One's gone.
I've killed 1 so far. Then the chainsword from the javelin hasn't hurt anyone yet as he leans out the side and he hits twice. With shred, he wounds twice.
4 ups. 1 more. 2.
2. And then the dreadnought tries to stamp on one of them again. 2 hits. 2 more wounds.
2 4 ups. Okay.
You only lose 2. So the Ogrins, can they break free of this eternal combat?
They've been holding it together just for this turn.
5s to hit.
Hey, they double from last turn. Doesn't wound.
Their arms are a bit tired. Okay.
Okay.
You got the sergeant hitting these guys. And he misses the autocannon team.
1 into the javelin.
He does hit. And it does wound.
And it instant deaths.
That's an instant death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. On 6s, their murderous strike. He wipes out the javelin. He jumps up. It took him a couple of turns to climb up there, but he's decapitated both of the pilots. As if from nowhere. Magic is happening here. 6 guys hitting the dreadnought.
5s to hit.
You hit twice.
6s.
No wounds. And you won that combat by 4-2. You won by 2. The autocannon team will need to take a leadership at leadership 6. Which we fail. You can't sweep me because you're locked up with a fearless thing, and instead they fall back 7 inches. Okay, in the movement phase, turn 6, last action of the game, my autocannon team fell back off the table. They'd had enough. They'd been hit. They saw what happened to the javelin pilot getting his head decapitated. They thought, nah, none of this. The tactical squad run forward to swarm this objective to stop you consolidating. So if you win, you won't get within 3 of this one. If you win the combat, you'll have to fall back to that one, and you'll have that objective. We'll have this objective. And then it comes down to who's killed more. So talking about who's going to kill more, the Terminators, I must remember, need to charge them in this turn. No shots will come down in the middle. All the snipers can't see anything. It's been an absolute bloodbath. Let's charge the Terminators, and they make the charge. So the Terminators make the charge and then wreck open that Lehman Russ. And then it comes down to this fight in the middle one more time. My Dreadnought is going to jump on a couple of axe guys on 3s. He jumps on 2 of them. He wounds 2 of them.
On 4s.
And he doesn't really wound 2 of them. He it bounces. They bounce off his thighs and move to one side. If you kill this Dreadnought, fall back onto that objective. We're on 1 each. Good luck.
Right, the Ogrin, they've been keeping it together for the last turn.
Since turn whatever, they've been,
Hey,
2 hits.
Keeping it consistent.
No,
didn't wound.
No wounds. How many axe guys you got left there after piling? 8
plus
8 axe guys, which will murderous strike on a 6. You just need 1 6 to come through, but first
5's the hit.
You hit twice. Now it's the 6s.
Nothing.
No. And that is the end of turn 6. This fight in the middle is ongoing. That's the end of the game. And the Raven Guard score the only objective on the field. And we need to find out how many points that objective is worth on a d6. And that's worth only 1 point. Going away and adding up some points. It's 1-0 then, because I killed your Warlord. 4-0.
Yeah.
And then I killed a bunch of your units.
Killed 13. You're up to 17.
17, and you killed 5 of mine. Yeah. So it's 17 points to 6 at the end of the battle. I don't think jumping on that objective would have helped there.
I don't think so.
But jumping on with one of these units here, for example, or maybe running one of them up to try and take that objective a bit later in the game. There was win conditions, but leadership was brutal, and the glorious thing in the middle of the table, in the middle of the courtyard that you wanted to pull off, it wasn't so glorious. But I do think that Dreadnought's not long for this world. You will make your way through it.
I think the Dreadnought's gone, but I reckon they're not long either.
No, too many snipers. But in the end, this battle between the Raven Guard and the Solar Auxilia, the Raven Guard have achieved their decapitation strike, and it is a victory for the Loyalists. And this is the way this world ends, because we're going to take off and nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Round 30k for thoughts and things.
It was a good game. I think the start, maybe I made a couple of mistakes. It was a tough one, but by the end, it really came back. I think it was closer than it looked from the first couple of turns. It was a really fun game.
I think playing on Solar Auxilia is playing Horus Heresy hard mode. What do you think?
I think they're a tough army to play. They're a lot weaker, and AP4 is rife, AP3 isn't, so it's kind of tough.
You can. Yeah, it's the lower initiative as well. The lower lead there. Okay, so if there's people out there thinking about starting a Solar Auxilia army, what with all the plastic releases coming, what would you recommend them getting to make a strong list, or to make something that at least has got some teeth in, so you can stand toe to toe with the transhuman dread of the Space Marines?
I think they're a lot of fun as allies. You take some Velatari, especially the Volkite ones, they do well. The Axe guys lasted forever, like you've seen.
Yeah.
And bring some big guns like Rapiers and Lehman Russes. They're cost effective. You bring them as allies.
What sort of Lehman Russes, if you had to put turrets? If you could only pick one Lehman Russ, what type would it be?
I think Vanquish is a very good anti-tank, but Plasma Executioners always look good.
Right. And then elite guys, but how many infantry do you need to start a proper guard list?
You only need 20 las rifles.
But how many do you really need?
Like 60 plus.
60 minimum?
I think so, yeah. They're surprisingly good if you put them behind an Aegis defense line or a wall.
Right. Particularly if you make them stubborn leadership 11.
Yeah, so that's
which
the
you
next
can
one.
do. Stubborn leadership 11 with like 100 guard.
Yeah, so my normal list is 120 las rifles,
right.
Stubborn leadership 11, stood behind an Aegis defense line.
Why didn't you bring that?
Because it takes about 5 hours to play.
Okay. And then, coming up from Cardiff on packing.
I'll bring him next time.
Bring him next time. Well, you've got other 30k armies as well. So it would be glorious to see you back on the channel with some more of your juice, because that was so rare to see a Solar Auxilia army, so rare to play against a Solar Auxilia army, and heroes were made this day. Have you heard of the story of Dave?
He's going back to the pub. He's going to tell everyone about clubbing that building with the butt of his rifle.
Yeah, he took down a Terminator. No one will believe him. Except
nobody saw the piece of rebar fall off the building and crush him. It's just Dave's taking credit.
Yeah. Maybe Dave attached a satchel charge next to the thing that fell on the thing that hit the thing, and they've lived to tell the tale. They got off the battle grid.
They did. They run.
Heroes were made this day. I do like the fact that you can make Legate Marshals absolute G's that can stand up to a charge from some Dark Furies. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but...
Yeah. He killed 4 or 5 of them. He was pretty good.
He got his hands dirty today, but he was a traitor.
He was.
So he had to be cut down. And we do hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.